Unexpected allies. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Lena Rodriguez as she stood on the bridge of the U.S. Horizon. Earth's first faster-than-light capable ship, the Horizon represented humanity's boldest step into the cosmos. After months of travel, they had finally reached their destination, a star system showing signs of advanced civilization. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous reading," Lieutenant Kai Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. "It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Lena leaned forward, her dark eyes narrowing. "On screen, Lieutenant." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a massive structure orbiting a nearby gas giant. Its design was clearly alien, all sweeping curves and iridescent surfaces that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "My God," whispered Commander Jack O'Neill, Lena's second in command. "We've done it. First contact." As the crew marveled at the sight, a sudden burst of energy erupted from the alien structure. Before anyone could react, the Horizon was enveloped in a shimmering field of exotic particles. "Report," Lena barked, gripping the arms of her chair. "We're caught in some kind of tractor beam, Captain," Kai replied, his voice tense. "They're pulling us in." Lena's mind raced. This was not how she had imagined first contact. "Hail them," she ordered. "All frequencies, all languages. Let them know we come in peace." Minutes ticked by with no response. The alien structure loomed larger in the view screen as they were inexorably drawn closer. Just as panic began to set in, a melodious voice filled the bridge, speaking in perfect English. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Zarquin. Your arrival was unexpected." Lena stepped forward. "I am Captain Lena Rodriguez of the U.S. Horizon. We come with peaceful intentions, seeking knowledge and friendship." There was a pause before the voice responded. "Your species is unknown to us, Captain. Your presence here is problematic." "Problematic," Lena echoed, confusion evident in her tone. "We've traveled far to make peaceful contact with other civilizations. Surely we can find a way to understand each other." "It is not a matter of understanding," the Zarquin replied. "Your very existence poses a threat to the delicate balance of our galaxy." The mood on the bridge shifted from wonder to concern. Jack leaned in close to Lena. "Captain, I don't like where this is going. We should be prepared for anything." Lena nodded imperceptibly, then addressed the aliens once more. "We mean you no harm. Perhaps if you explain the nature of this threat, we could work together to find a solution." The response came not in words, but in action. The tractor beam intensified, and the Horizon shuddered. "They're scanning us, Captain," Kai reported. "Our systems are being probed." Lena's jaw clenched. "Defensive measures, Mr. Chen. Don't let them access anything vital." As Kai worked furiously to protect the ship's systems, a new alarm blared. "Captain, multiple ships decloaking around us," Jack shouted. The view screen filled with sleek, predatory vessels that had appeared out of nowhere. Their designs were different from the Zarquin structure, more angular and menacing. The Zarquin voice returned, tinged with urgency. "Humans, you have inadvertently stumbled into a war zone. The Kreldor have found us, and they will show no mercy. Your presence here has compromised our hidden sanctuary." Lena's mind whirled. In the span of minutes, they had gone from the joy of first contact to being caught in the middle of an alien conflict. "We had no intention of bringing danger to you," she said. "Please, let us go, and we'll leave your space immediately." "It is too late for that," the Zarquin replied. "The Kreldor will destroy you simply for associating with us. And if they capture your ship, the secrets of your faster-than-light technology will make them unstoppable." The enemy ships, the Kreldor, began to move into attack formation. Lena realized with growing dread that they were surrounded, outgunned, and out of options. "What do you propose?" she asked the Zarquin, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her gut. There was a long pause before the answer came. "We have only one choice. We must fight together, or perish separately. As if to punctuate the Zarquin's words, the first volley of Kreldor weapons fire streaked past the horizon. The battle had begun. Red alert. Lena commanded. All hands to battle stations. Mr. Chen, divert all available power to shields and weapons. The bridge erupted into a flurry of activity. As her crew prepared for the fight of their lives, Lena took a deep breath. This was not the mission they had trained for, but it was the reality they faced. First contact had become a baptism by fire. Zarquin, she called out, we accept your alliance. Guide us. Tell us how we can help. As the Horizon systems interfaced with the alien technology, Lena felt a glimmer of hope. Humanity had come seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars. Instead, they had found war. But in that conflict, perhaps they would prove their worth to the galaxy. The Kreldor ships closed in, their weapons charging. Lena stood tall on her bridge, her voice ringing with determination. Let's show these Kreldor what humans are made of. For Earth, for the Zarquin, for the future of us all. Engage. And with that order, the U.S. Horizon plunged into its first interstellar battle, the fate of multiple civilizations hanging in the balance. The lesson of the day was clear. The galaxy was a dangerous place, but humanity was ready to face whatever challenges awaited them among the stars. The galactic threat emerges. The bridge of the U.S. Horizon was a cacophony of alarms and shouted orders as Captain Lena Rodriguez guided her ship through the chaos of battle. Streaks of energy weapons crisscrossed the void, illuminating the darkness of space in a deadly light show. Evasive maneuvers. Pattern Delta 3. Lena commanded, her voice steady despite the dire circumstances. Mr. Chen, target the lead Kreldor vessel and fire when ready. As the horizon banked sharply, narrowly avoiding a barrage of enemy fire, Lieutenant Kai Shen's fingers danced across his console. Targeting systems locked, Captain. Firing main batteries. A lance of coherent light erupted from the horizon's bow, striking the Kreldor ship dead center. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a silent flash visible, even through the viewscreen's filters, the enemy vessel disintegrated. A cheer went up from the crew, but Lena knew better than to celebrate prematurely. Good shot, Mr. Chen, but stay focused. There are plenty more where that came from. As if to underscore her point, 3 more Kreldor ships moved to fill the gap left by their fallen comrade. The Zarquin voice, which had been silent since the battle began, suddenly filled the bridge once more. Impressive, humans. Your weapons technology is more advanced than we anticipated. However, the Kreldor are calling for reinforcements. We must retreat to a more defensible position. Commander Jack O'Neill turned to Lena, his face grim. Captain, we're outnumbered, and in unfamiliar territory. Following the Zarquin might be our best option. Lena nodded, her mind racing through potential scenarios. Agreed. Zarquin, lead the way. We'll cover your retreat. The massive Zarquin structure began to move, its iridescent surface rippling as it accelerated away from the battle. The horizon fell into formation behind it, its shields straining under the constant barrage of Kreldor weapons fire. As they fled deeper into the star system, Lena turned to her science officer, Dr. Amelia Frost. Doctor, I need answers. Who are these Kreldor, and why are they so intent on destroying the Zarquin? Amelia's fingers flew over her console, analyzing the data they'd gathered during the brief but intense battle. From what I can gather, Captain, the Kreldor are a highly aggressive species bent on galactic domination. They seem to view the Zarquin as a threat to their expansion. And now us as well, it seems, Jack added grimly. Lena's reply was cut short as the ship shuddered violently. Report, she barked. Direct hit to our aft shields. Captain, Kai responded, his voice tense. Shield integrity down to 62% and falling. Reroute auxiliary power to the shields, Lena ordered, and get me a status update on the Zarquin. As her crew worked feverishly to keep the ship intact, the Zarquin voice returned. We are approaching our fallback position, humans. Prepare yourselves. What you are about to see may challenge your understanding of the universe. The view screen suddenly filled with a swirling vortex of energy, a massive tear in the fabric of space-time itself. Without hesitation, the Zarquin structure plunged into the anomaly. "Captain, the Zarquin are transmitting coordinates," Kai reported. They're asking us to follow them through." Lina felt the weight of command pressing down on her shoulders. To follow the Zarquin meant potentially stranding her crew light years from Earth in unknown space. To stay meant certain destruction at the hands of the Kreldor. "Helm, set course for that anomaly," she decided, her voice firm. "Take us in." As the horizon approached the swirling vortex, the entire ship began to vibrate. Warning klaxons blared as the structural integrity field strained to keep the vessel in one piece. "All hands, brace for transit," Lina shouted, gripping her chair tightly. With a flash of blinding light and a sensation of being stretched to the breaking point and snapped back together, the horizon plunged through the anomaly. When the light faded and the shaking subsided, the crew found themselves in a realm beyond their wildest imaginings. They were in a vast pocket universe, a space between spaces. Massive structures floated in the void, connected by threads of energy. Ships of various designs, some familiar and others utterly alien, moved between these structures with purpose. "My God," Jack whispered, awe evident in his voice. It's a hidden civilization." The Zarquin voice returned, tinged with what could only be described as pride. "Welcome, humans, to the Nexus. This is our true home, and the last bastion against the Kreldor's galactic domination." As the crew of the Horizon marveled at the sight before them, Lena's tactical mind was already racing. "This is incredible," she said, "but I don't understand. With technology like this, how have the Kreldor not been defeated already?" There was a pause before the Zarquin responded, their tone grave. "The Kreldor possess a weapon of unimaginable power, one that threatens not just our civilization, but the very fabric of space-time itself. We have been fighting a defensive war, trying to prevent them from discovering the location of the Nexus. And now we've led them right to your doorstep." Lena finished, the realization hitting her like a physical blow. "Not intentionally," the Zarquin assured her. "But yes, your arrival has complicated matters. However, it may also present an opportunity. Your species has shown remarkable adaptability and ingenuity in the face of the unknown. Perhaps together, we can find a way to end this war once and for all." Before Lena could respond, alarms blared once again. Kai's voice cut through the chaos. "Captain, multiple signals emerging from the anomaly. The Kreldor have followed us through." As Kreldor ships began pouring into the Nexus, Lena realized that the true battle was only just beginning. The fate of not just Earth, but countless civilizations across the galaxy now rested on the shoulders of her crew and their newfound allies. "All hands, battle stations," she commanded, her voice ringing with determination. "We didn't come this far to fail now. Let's show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As the Horizon moved to engage the Kreldor once more, Lena couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. They had sought knowledge and discovery among the stars, but instead found themselves at the center of a galactic conflict. The true nature of the threat was only now becoming clear, and with it, the realization that humanity's first steps into the cosmic community would be a baptism by fire. The lesson of the day was evolving. Don't mess with humans, for they may just be the key to saving the galaxy itself. Human ingenuity shines. The Nexus, once a hidden sanctuary, had become a battlefield. The U.S. Horizon weaved through the chaos, its human crew working in perfect synchronization with their Zarquin allies. Captain Lena Rodriguez stood at the center of the bridge, her eyes darting between tactical displays and the view screen that showed the unfolding battle. "Mr. Chen, status report," Lena commanded, her voice steady despite the dire circumstances. Lieutenant Kai Chen's fingers danced across his console as he responded, Shields at 43%, Captain. We've taken out 3 Kreldor vessels, but there are dozens more pouring through the anomaly. Commander Jack O'Neill leaned in close, his voice low. We can't keep this up forever, Lena. We need a game changer. As if in response to Jack's words, the Zarquin voice filled the bridge once more. Humans, we must retreat to the central nexus. Our leaders wish to speak with you directly. Lena nodded grimly. Understood. Helm, set course for the central nexus. Mr. Chen, cover our retreat. The horizon broke away from the battle, racing towards the heart of the hidden civilization. As they approached, a massive structure came into view, a spherical construct that seemed to pulse with energy, surrounded by a network of interconnected platforms and smaller vessels. Once docked, Lena assembled a small away team consisting of herself, Jack, Dr. Amelia Frost, and Lieutenant Chen. As they stepped off the horizon, they were greeted by the sight of the Zarquin in physical form for the first time. The aliens were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin that seemed to shift and change color, like the structures of their civilization. Their large, multifaceted eyes regarded the humans with a mixture of curiosity and urgency. One Zarquin stepped forward, its voice resonating in the humans' minds. I am Xylar, High Counselor of the Nexus. We welcome you, humans, though we wish it were under better circumstances. Lena stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. High Counselor, I am Captain Lena Rodriguez. We're honored to meet you, but I must ask, what is this weapon the Kreldor possess, and why haven't you been able to counter it? Ziller's skin rippled, a sign of distress. The Kreldor wield the Void Cascade, a device capable of collapsing entire regions of spacetime. Our efforts to develop a countermeasure have been unsuccessful. Dr. Frost's eyes widened. Collapsing spacetime. The implications are staggering. May I ask how it functions? Another Zarquin, introduced as Nexus Chief Scientist Ilara, stepped forward. The Void Cascade creates a cascading failure in the quantum foam that underlies our reality. Once triggered, it spreads exponentially, consuming everything in its path. As the implications sank in, Jack voiced the thought on everyone's mind. So why haven't they used it to wipe out the Nexus already? The device requires immense energy to activate, Xylar explained. Energy that can only be harvested from the destruction of a star. They have been systematically destroying solar systems, building up the power needed for a final assault. Lena felt a chill run down her spine. And now that they've followed us here, they will undoubtedly begin preparations to destroy the star of this system. Ilara finished. We estimate we have less than 48 Earth hours before they are ready to deploy the Void Cascade. The gravity of the situation settled over the human team. The fate of not just the Zarquin, but potentially the entire galaxy, rested on their shoulders. Lena turned to her team. We need ideas, people. Anything that could give us an edge. For a moment, silence reigned. Then, surprisingly, it was Lieutenant Chen who spoke up. Captain, what if we turn their own weapon against them? All eyes turned to the young officer. Encouraged, Kai continued, the Void Cascade works by collapsing spacetime, right? What if we could create a controlled collapse, a bubble of altered spacetime that would trap the Kreldor fleet? Dr. Frost's eyes lit up with understanding. A spacetime pocket. It's audacious, but it just might work. We'd need to find a way to contain and direct the collapse, though. Lena turned to the Zarquin. Is something like this possible with your technology? Ziller and Ilara exchanged looks, their skin shifting through a range of colors. It is theoretically possible, Ilara said slowly. But the precision required, the sheer amount of energy needed, it's beyond our current capabilities. But not beyond ours, Jack interjected, a spark of excitement in his eyes. Captain, the Horizon's faster-than-light drive. It manipulates spacetime on a fundamental level. If we could adapt it, use it in conjunction with Zarquin tech. Lena felt a surge of hope. This was why humanity had come to the stars, not just to explore, but to push the boundaries of what was possible. "Let's do it," she said firmly. "Dr. Frost, work with Ilara and her team to develop the theoretical framework. Mr. Chen, you and Commander O'Neill will handle the practical implementation with our engineering team." As her crew sprang into action, Lena turned back to Ziller. "High Counselor, we'll need every resource you can spare. This is our best shot at ending this war." Ziller's skin rippled with what Lena interpreted as respect. "You continue to surprise us, humans. Your adaptability, your willingness to attempt the impossible, it is unlike anything we have encountered. We will provide whatever you need." Over the next several hours, the central nexus became a hive of activity. Human and Zarquin scientists worked side by side, melding their knowledge and technologies in ways neither species had imagined possible. The Horizon's engineering team, led by Jack and Kai, worked tirelessly to modify the ship's FTL drive, pushing it far beyond its original specifications. As the deadline approached, Lena stood in the Nexus Control Center, watching as final preparations were made. The plan was audacious, relying on split-second timing and technologies that had never been combined before. But as she looked around at her crew, at the determination in their eyes, and the seamless way they worked with their alien counterparts, she knew they had a fighting chance. "Captain," Dr. Frost called out, her voice tinged with excitement and nervousness. "We're ready for the final systems check." Lena nodded, taking a deep breath. This was it. Humanity's ingenuity and determination, combined with Zarquin knowledge and technology, in a last-ditch effort to save the galaxy. "Let's do this," she said, her voice ringing with authority. "Commence final checks. It's time to show the Krellador that they picked the wrong species to mess with." As the countdown began, Lena couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. They had come seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars. Instead, they found themselves at the center of a galactic conflict, about to attempt the impossible. The lesson of the day had evolved once again. Don't mess with humans, for their ingenuity might just rewrite the laws of the universe itself. The battle begins. The central nexus hummed with nervous energy as the final preparations were made. Captain Lena Rodriguez stood at the heart of the control center, her eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing the approaching Krellador fleet. Time was running out. "Status report," Lena commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that filled the air. Dr. Amelia Frost looked up from her console, her face a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "The space-time bubble generator is online, Captain. We've successfully integrated it with the Horizon's FTL drive and the Zarquin's quantum stabilizers. Engineering teams report all systems green," Commander Jack O'Neill added. "We're as ready as we'll ever be." Lena nodded, then turned to the Zarquin High Counselor Ziller. "Are your people in position?" Ziller's skin rippled with a pattern that Lena had come to recognize as determination. "Our fleet is ready, Captain Rodriguez. We will follow your lead." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the Nexus. Lieutenant Kai, Chen's voice cut through the chaos. "Captain, the Krellador fleet is making their final approach. They've begun charging the Void Cascade." Lena took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. This was it, the moment that would determine the fate of not just the Zarquin and humanity, but potentially the entire galaxy. "All hands, battle stations," she commanded. "This is not a drill. Today, we make our stand." As the crew of the Horizon rushed to their posts, Lena turned to address the assembled Zarquin and human forces. "We've trained for this. We've pushed the boundaries of science and technology to give ourselves a fighting chance. Now it's time to show the Krellador that they picked the wrong civilizations to mess with. For Earth, for the Nexus, for the future of all sentient life. Let's end this war." A cheer went up from both humans and Zarquin alike. As Lena made her way to the Horizon's bridge, she could feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Everything hinged on their plan working perfectly. Once on the bridge, Lena took her seat in the captain's chair. Mr. Chen, bring the space-time bubble generator online. Dr. Frost, monitor the quantum fluctuations. We can't risk a cascade failure. As the Horizon disengaged from its docking clamps, the view screen filled with the sight of the Kreldor Armada. Hundreds of ships, their angular designs a stark contrast to the organic curves of Zarquin architecture, bore down on the Nexus. Zarquin fleet, assume defensive formation Theta, Lena ordered. Draw their attention, but do not engage directly. We need to wait for the perfect moment. The battle began in earnest, with Zarquin ships darting in and out of the Kreldor formation, drawing fire and creating chaos. The Horizon hummed back, waiting for its opportunity. Captain, I called out, his voice tense. I'm detecting a massive energy buildup in the lead Kreldor vessel. They're preparing to fire the Void Cascade. Lena's eyes narrowed. This is it. All power to the space-time bubble generator. Helm, set course for the center of the Kreldor fleet. Maximum speed. The Horizon surged forward, its experimental drive humming with power. As they approached the heart of the enemy armada, reality itself seemed to warp around them. Now, Mr. Chen. Activate the generator. Kai's fingers flew across his console, and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent flash that seemed to bend light itself, a shimmering bubble of distorted space-time burst into existence around the Kreldor fleet. It's working, Dr. Frost exclaimed. The bubble is stable and expanding. But their elation was short-lived. A beam of sickly green energy lanced out from the lead Kreldor ship, slicing through the bubble and narrowly missing the Horizon. Evasive maneuvers. Lena shouted. The Void Cascade is still operational. As the Horizon banked hard to avoid another blast, Lena could see the space-time bubble beginning to destabilize. Their plan was falling apart. Captain, Jack's voice came over the comm, tinged with desperation. The bubble can't withstand the Void Cascade's energy. It's tearing itself apart. Lena's mind raced. They had come too far to fail now. Dr. Frost, can we reinforce the bubble? Amelia shook her head, her face grim. Not without more power than we have available, Captain. We'd need the energy output of a star tow. She stopped mid-sentence, her eyes widening with realization. Lena caught on immediately. The star they were going to destroy. If we could channel its energy. It's possible, Amelia confirmed, but we'd need to get dangerously close to the star's corona. The Horizon wasn't built for that kind of heat. For a split second, Lena weighed their options. The risk was enormous, but the alternative was unthinkable. Helm, set course for the star, maximum speed. Mr. Chen, reroute all available power to shields and the space-time bubble generator. As the Horizon broke away from the battle, streaking towards the system's star, Lena opened a channel to the Zarquin fleet. This is Captain Rodriguez. We're making a run for the star to amplify our generator. Keep the Kreldor occupied, and be ready to fall back on my mark. The ship shuddered as they approached the star, its hull groaning under the immense heat and gravitational forces. Warning klaxons blared as systems began to fail under the strain. Hull temperature approaching critical levels, Kai reported, his voice tense. Shields failing. Just a little closer, Lena urged, her knuckles white. As she gripped her chair, Amelia, be ready to channel that energy the moment we're in position. The view screen was filled with the blinding light of the star's surface, roiling plasma reaching out as if to engulf them. Just as it seemed the Horizon couldn't take any more, Amelia's voice cut through the chaos. Now, Captain, we're in position. Do it, Lena commanded. With a surge of power that made the entire ship tremble, the space-time bubble generator roared to life, fueled by the raw energy of a star. A wave of distorted space-time exploded outward from the Horizon, racing back towards the battle. As the amplified bubble engulfed the Kreldor fleet, Lena watched in awe as ships began to distort and stretch, caught in the warped fabric of space-time. The Void Cascade, Its energy, now contained and redirected, imploded in on itself. "It's working," Jack shouted triumphantly. "The Kreldor fleet is being drawn into a localized space-time singularity." Lena allowed herself a small smile of victory, but she knew they weren't out of danger yet. "All ships, fall back to safe distance. Zarquin vessels, tractor us out if you can. We've lost main engine power." As they retreated from the collapsing bubble of warped space-time, Lena watched as the Kreldor armada, along with their dreaded void cascade, was pulled into a swirling vortex of their own making. In a final, silent flash, the singularity collapsed in on itself, taking the threat of the Kreldor with it. For a moment, there was stunned silence on the bridge. Then, as the realization of what they had accomplished sank in, cheers erupted from both the human crew and their Zarquin allies. Lena leaned back in her chair, exhaustion and relief washing over her in equal measure. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity's first foray into interstellar space had ended in not just survival, but in saving an entire civilization, perhaps even the galaxy itself. As the horizon was gently towed back to the Nexus for repairs, Lena couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. They had come seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars, and instead found themselves at the center of a galactic conflict. But through ingenuity, determination, and the willingness to attempt the impossible, they had prevailed. The lesson of the day was clear: never underestimate humans, for their adaptability and courage might just be the key to reshaping the very fabric of the universe. Triumph of the human spirit. The central nexus buzzed with activity as repairs and celebrations occurred in equal measure. The U.S. horizon, battered but unbroken, rested in a Zarquin docking bay, its hull still bearing the scars of its close encounter with a star. Inside the Great Hall of the Nexus, Captain Lena Rodriguez stood before a gathering of humans and Zarquin, the events of the past few days still seeming almost unreal. High Counselor Ziller stepped forward, his iridescent skin shimmering with patterns of joy and reverence. "Captain Rodriguez, crew of the Horizon, people of Earth," he began, his telepathic voice resonating through the hall. "We owe you a debt that can never be fully repaid. Your courage, your ingenuity, your willingness to risk everything for a people not your own. These qualities have not only saved the Nexus, but have also opened our eyes to the true potential of your species." Lena nodded respectfully, feeling the weight of the moment. "High Counselor, we came to the stars seeking knowledge and friendship. While we found conflict, we also found allies. The victory over the Kreldor belongs to all of us." Ziller's skin rippled in agreement. "Indeed, but it was your unique approach that turned the tide. The Zarquin have existed for millennia, yet in a matter of days, your species showed us new ways of thinking, new applications of technologies we thought we had mastered. You have proven that there is always more to learn, more to discover." As Ziller spoke, Lena couldn't help but reflect on their journey. The joy of first contact, the terror of battle, the rush of scientific discovery. It had all happened so fast, yet had changed them all profoundly. Commander Jack O'Neill stepped forward, a data pad in his hand. "Captain, I finished compiling the preliminary reports. The implications of what we've achieved here, they're staggering." Dr. Amelia Frost nodded enthusiastically. "The space-time bubble generator alone represents a quantum leap in our understanding of physics, and that's just the beginning. The potential applications of Zarquin biotechnology, their advances in energy production, we've opened doors to scientific advancements that we couldn't have imagined a week ago." Lena smiled at her crew's excitement, "and I'm sure the Zarquin are equally interested in our contributions. This is what we hoped for when we set out, an exchange of knowledge that benefits all." Ziller interjected, his tone serious. "There is more at stake than just scientific advancement, Captain. The defeat of the Kreldor has created a power vacuum in this sector of the galaxy. Many species that lived under their oppression are now free, but also vulnerable." Lena understood the implications immediately. You're suggesting that Earth should take a more active role in galactic affairs. We are, Xyler confirmed. Your species has proven itself not just capable, but essential. The galaxy needs the unique perspective that humanity brings. The weight of this responsibility settled on Lena's shoulders. Humanity had come to the stars looking for new frontiers, and now they were being offered a role on a galactic stage. The implications were enormous. There will be those on Earth who are hesitant, Lena said carefully. We're still new to interstellar travel, let alone galactic politics. Lieutenant Kai Chen spoke up, his voice filled with determination. But think of what we could achieve, Captain. The problems we could solve, the discoveries we could make. We came out here to push boundaries. Isn't this the ultimate frontier? Lena nodded, feeling a swell of pride in her young officer's words. You're right, Mr. Chen. We can't turn away from this opportunity, or this responsibility. Turning back to Xyler, Lena straightened her posture. High Counselor, on behalf of the United Earth Government, I accept your proposal. We would be honored to join the galactic community as full partners. A ripple of excitement passed through the assembled crowd. Xyler's skin glowed with approval. You honor us with your acceptance, Captain. Let this mark the beginning of a new era of cooperation and discovery. As the formalities concluded and the celebration began in earnest, Lena found a quiet moment with her senior staff. Well, she said, looking at each of them in turn, when we left Earth, I don't think any of us imagined it would turn out like this. Jack chuckled. Fighting an intergalactic war and rewriting the laws of physics. Just another day at the office, right? Amelia's eyes sparkled with excitement. The scientific opportunities alone are mind-boggling. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible. Kai nodded in agreement. And think of the cultural exchange. There's so much we can learn from each other. Lena smiled at her crew's enthusiasm. You're all right. We came out here to explore, to learn, to push the boundaries of what's possible. I'd say we've made a pretty good start. As they looked out over the gathering, where humans and Zarquin mingled freely, exchanging ideas and forming new friendships, Lena felt a profound sense of pride and hope. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and while the path had been fraught with danger, they had risen to the challenge. The lesson they had learned, the lesson they would carry forward into their new role in the galactic community, was clear. Never underestimate the human spirit. In the face of the unknown, in the crucible of crisis, humanity's greatest strengths shone through. Their adaptability, their creativity, their unwavering determination to overcome any obstacle. These were the qualities that would shape the future of the galaxy. As the celebration continued around them, Lena and her crew stood at the threshold of a new era. The stars, once distant and mysterious, now represented infinite possibilities. And humanity, tested by fire and found worthy, was ready to seize those possibilities with both hands. The message to the galaxy was clear. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same again.